the idea that you guys have three inherently diverse people, you got a white guy, a black guy, and an Asian guy, that are all young guys who have kind of made it in the media business, which a lot of young people would want to do, and leaving a blueprint for young people who want to go into the media is a really good idea.
Welcome back to the BluePrint podcast. As always, I'm joined, D-Hawk, DeAndre Hopkins, P-Bell, Park Bell. Of course, I'm Clue, Cody Lou. Boys, it's been a while. What is happening, boys?
Hey, look, man, it's I wouldn't say it's been too busy, but it's starting to pick up. As you know, the Rams preseason just opened up. By the way, just throw this out here, just so randomly. Have y'all been paying attention to USA basketball by any chance? I at least tried to, like the Team USA.
Very little. I'm gonna be honest with you, very little.
I mean, I think because I don't have the platform, it's on Fox and stuff, so I don't really have it. But social media, I'm following it. Yeah, we gotta follow our boy. We gotta follow our boy.
Yeah,
we can call him the Riggerer.
The Riggerer is great.
How do you say his shoe? I don't know.
I don't know how to pronounce it. But nah, man, Austin has been balling. But nah, man, also too, man, LAFC, our boys, LAFC, he's recently had a tough loss against Monterrey as a Catholic fan. But I was at the game on Tuesday, y'all, when they played against Real Salt Lake. And hey, look, let me tell you, a Tuesday night game, the fans showed up. The 32-52 were ready to go. I'm telling you,
shout out
from the start of the game to the finish, it was a spectacular game, and I was excited to be there, and I was very appreciative of our boy, producer Jorge. You know what I mean? I gotta give him a shout out, man, because he gives us a different approach and how to, do a social content. Just working with him, it's great, man. I just want to give him his shout out on this platform, man, because I wanted to impress him, like, man, like, what's the angle today? Because it's always difficult to find an angle. You know what I mean? You want to be able to tell a story, like, that's our main thing. And he was able to tell a story, and then just being able to be that guy, like, hey, man, like, whatever you need, I'll post it for you immediately. And good thing, the service at BMO Stadium is terrific, man, because hey, look, man, I was able to post some stuff, and we got some really good content. But I think the most interesting thing is we took notes from you, Cody, and Josh, when you guys did the game at the Rose Bowl, and how you were able to get that behind the goal, the different angle, the different point of view.
Yep.
When it was him, right, where he headed it in, or he was the one that scored that goal.
Yep.
And hey, so we try to do that same approach going into that game for the second half. Because mind you, the first half there was no action going on like that. There were some shots on target, on goal, but none really that was like, oh, like there was a couple that had you on your toes, but we were like, hey, man, let's try it. So mind you, we didn't have cameras. We had only our phones. And yeah, bro. And, obviously we do everything on our phones, right? We do Lakers, we've been doing on our phones. We've been doing Rams. Everything's been on our phones. It's been good quality, I mean, we're able to put out good content. But there's one specific thing when it comes to LAFC is that they make sure you actually have a visible camera. You know what I mean? So we were there on the second half. We were on the field. Remind you, we're on the sideline. So literally, like, we're on the edge, like on the stanchion and everything.
Best seat in the house.
Leaning there. Best seat in the house, literally. If you guys had a chance to get seats like that, if you're media or just a fan in general, if you're able to get kind of close to the sideline, hey, look, it's one of the best seats. And let me tell you something, man. Sitting right there changed my whole view of the skill set of these players. Because that dude, Boanga, literally when we got there, that man scored back-to-back goals. Wow. It was like, the footwork is insane, man. And I just feel like it just, when you're sitting there and you see how they communicate on the floor, on the field, it's just crazy, man. And
on the pitch.
It sucks that I wasn't on the pitch, as they would say. But it just sucks that we weren't able to record because we didn't have the camera. So I think the learning, the takeaway I can get from that game, or just in general going for our future games or anything we cover, is that we gotta have cameras on us, man. Because yes, we know that we can capture that moment on our phone, but there was easily 4 or 5 plays in the span of like 10 minutes in that stretch where it was like, damn, bro, like me and Jorge were just looking at each other like, damn, man, like, man, if only, because the woman in charge who holds it down right there. Shout out to her, she was doing her job. We can't get mad at
Yeah.
her for anyone
Mhm.
who's doing their job, but she would come by and be like, hey, like, you don't have your, where's your camera? I'm like, oh, they stood over Katie's phone. She's like, nah, I can't allow you to do that. And I was like, man. And you should just see like the anxious, like you really want to pull it out, like just get it and record because the energy in the stadium was electric, man, and it was a good turnout. But yeah, man, LAFC, man. I mean, obviously had a tough loss over the weekend. That was a good turnout again. I heard at the Rose Bowl. Now it's
For
just
sure.
now it's just get to the MLS, man, and try to repeat. You know what I mean? I think that's the focus right now. I know they got. I saw like a thing. There's like another thing for a cup, another cup matchup. Found out how serious that one is. I'm still trying to learn as far as like
Yeah.
how the cups go in soccer. I just want to ask, do you just think they're scheduled to play? We already know the news of Messi. And obviously he's playing Inter Miami right now, and he's been balling. I mean, this man's scoring a goal damn near every game he's played in. What are the chances of him playing against LAFC September 3rd?
I'm
Slim to none.
I was gonna say the same thing. I was actually gonna say, like, I don't think he's gonna play, to be honest with you. Like, to be complete, and I got a question for both of you guys afterwards, just because you guys just talked about LAFC. But to get back to Messi, like, to me, it's so interesting that he's playing, and obviously he's playing at a high level. I mean, like, I don't know exactly his stats, but I know he's scored in like pretty much every game he's played in so far. But I was so surprised that he even like played this year, because if I was Inter Miami, use him as a milk that cow as much as you can, like hype up his, like, like he's coming to America, he's playing, because their team is like terrible. Like I know they're in the
They were
Leagues
dead
Cup.
last.
Yeah, they were dead last, and I know they're playing in I think they're still in the Leagues Cup or something like that. They're still in some tournament, so they're playing. I don't know who they're playing, but they're still in some tournament. But I was so surprised that he even played in the first place, because I would have just used them as a marketing thing and just hyped up like the next season, sell I mean, they're gonna sell regardless. Hype
Mhm.
it up, and they've already gone out and got some players like Busquets and Jordi Alba. I would have bulked up the team and then just straight up like go into the offseason, whole new team, build the team, because you got arguably the greatest player of all time playing. So
Yeah.
I would say just build it up and just go for the championship next year.
No, I like that, especially the position they were in this year. But as of today, which is Sunday, August 13th, they are heading to the semifinal in the League Cup. So it'll be exciting. I mean, who knows if he'll even play in the final, though, if he has to go, with the national team and such. But the impact he's had on the MLS so far, you can see it. DeAndre got it firsthand. Like, people are just showing up to more games, even if it's not Inter Miami. I think there's an excitement and a buzz around the league. So I'm excited, and I think more people are going to come over, like more, I don't want to say washed, but older stars. Just keep gaining
Ronaldo,
the. Come on
please,
now.
please.
I don't
Come
think
on,
that
we
man
got.
will ever come to MLS. And if he does, or if he did, oh man, I mean the other league's gotta watch out because more and more people are trying to. I heard like some rumors that Neymar's trying to come now. Like, bro, what is going on? Like, this is. I love it, but you love to see it though, man. Because I mean, we
Absolutely.
love that MLS is growing because low key, I mean, it benefits us as
Yeah.
people who work in state of California. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
No, for sure, for sure. I think personally, the two. I mean, the two leagues I really want to see just pop off are for sure MLS and WNBA. Like, I think they're ran really well. Well, relatively. What I mean is like the players and the cultures really well. We can this is ownership and all that's a different conversation, but um, the hype when people do go is so fun. So I hope those two leagues pop off and like we can see them
It's a
more in
growing buzz
mainstream
for
media.
sure.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
And you can kind of feel it even within, like, whether you're a fan or part of the media, you can kind of tell that the MLS is growing for sure. Especially with Messi coming now, like there's, like you guys both just said, like it's going to continue to grow and they're going to continue to have like stars come over and everything. But like with the WNBA, there's like a certain buzz because like I feel like the talent level is like, I feel like right now currently, and especially with upcoming players coming, like Angel Reese and like Caitlin Clark, Haley Van Lith, and like all those like players that are in college, like the talent level is probably at the highest it's ever like kind of been at.
Yeah,
so like
there's
that's always
buckets.
like a growing buzz. But to get back to LAFC, is LAFC your guys' favorite team to cover? Or like I guess like not team, like obviously I would say we're all Lakers fans, but is that your favorite like team to go and cover? Like work at like BMO Stadium rather than crypto.com or like SoFi and everything like that? Because to me, I would say LAFC is my favorite just because of the access that we get. And like DeAndre just said, like that's pretty normal for us, and it's not normal for normal people, like for everyday people, like to just be behind the goal, behind the goalpost and everything like that, and be like right in front of the 3252. So to me, it's my favorite just because it's always hype, no matter what the match is, and it's always exciting. And celebrities are for the most part like usually out, and like the experience itself at LAFC. If you haven't gone to an LAFC game, like I'm not talking about media and everything, just as a fan, like it's totally, it's crazy. It's so much different than a Dodger game, a Laker game, or like a Rams game. But I wanted to ask you guys, is LAFC your favorite like game or like team to go out and cover?
I think for myself, it might be. I mean, this might be a unanimous one. We'll get to
Yeah.
DeAndre's answer in just a sec, but I agree with your exact reasoning. I think that if you're listening to this and you're trying to get into media, we just mentioned it. Those two leagues with a lot of buzz, the WNBA and MLS, it's not just because like the players have such good culture and the games are fun. It's the access you get as media. Like because it's growing, they're giving some media members access that you wouldn't be getting at like say a huge game like a Rams. I mean, well, we'll see this year for Rams, but a big NFL game, big conglomerate leagues like Dodgers Stadium and stuff. The access is tough. I mean, Cody, you've worked with a lot of Dodger stuff, so I would agree. I think LAFC and just soccer matches. I hope to experience some of the other, teams and stuff throughout my career, but I think for me, it's definitely the most exciting. And the energy, dude. Oh gosh, it's unmatched. Those fans go crazy. I know it's not
start to finish, bro.
I know it doesn't match like other countries, but still, even just like 10% of, let's say, a big ass team like Man United or something, even that just 10% of that energy is still way better than like a Thursday night Clippers versus Rockets game,
I feel like yes, LAFC will be number one as far as like covering them. Because you don't get to see that much electricity in a certain environment. It makes the games fun to cover, knowing that you're going to get 110% from your fan base and 110% of whoever plays on the field, like regardless, like on the pitch. Like every player I've seen, it's like I'm telling you, just sitting on that sideline is like seeing them communicate and talk. It just gives you a whole different point of view of like these soccer players. I must say though, I had a lot of fun. It was a lot of late nights, but I had a lot of fun covering Lakers postseason. Because
that's the only thing I would
thing.
say. Yeah.
I feel like it's more like a moments. I'm more like a moments guy. We were in the right time, right place for the moment of the Lakers. Because
postseason for sure.
Postseason for sure. Like right now, it's like every game for LAFC is going to be good because they're competing for, like they're competing for everything. You know what I mean? But Lakers had something to prove, man. They had a chip on their shoulder, and we already talked about that, so I'm not gonna really go on. But the energy for the Lakers games is fun, man. And we did have good access. We were able to get a lot of good stuff and turn it into something. That's why the platform that we use, man, started to grow because the work that all of us put in, it started connecting and it reached a different audience, man. I mean, the guys play were reaching NBA in Australia, you know what I mean, reaching a whole different platform. They were sharing our stuff, posting on their platform. So I feel like that's what made the Lakers in a slight edge because the access was getting better. Even though they limit us to only one, I mean, there's times we both work the same game and only one of us can be down there. But I mean, we can't complain about the access we got the other day because I mean, we got good stuff. So I
That's
think
right.
I think the Lakers got the slight edge for me.
I like it.
All
I
right.
like it.
I love it too. DeAndre got to do LAFC, and then Parker and I were both at Rams training camp these past 2 weeks. 2 weeks? Yeah, about 2 weeks. DeAndre unfortunately wasn't able to make it out to any of the Rams training camp days, but Parker, Rams training camp, it's obviously a strange season for the Rams because they come off a Super Bowl and then they kind of have I would say, mediocre season. And it seems like everybody thinks that they're going to have another mediocre season. I think they'll be all right. I think they should tank because I don't see the point in having a 7 or 8, 9 winning or game winning season. Because to be middle of the pack, it doesn't really make any sense. You might not even make the playoffs. I'd rather just tank and go get that guy at USC and start the future. Sean McVay, go do your thing with Caleb Williams. That's my opinion. The aura of like the Rams training camp and everything, like I think it's so interesting. Fortunately for us, like they are a team partner and we get like special access and everything like that. And the Rams people are so cool, and the Rams media team is so cool. And like I would say for the most part, you guys were both at media day. It seems like the players are also like super cool and everything. Like just a great a well-run organization. Parker, give me some of your thoughts about Rams training camp.
Well, so first off, as a avid follower of the Pittsburgh Steelers, I don't know what tanking is. So let me just say that first and foremost. Big boy Mike Tomlin, he doesn't have tank in his vocabulary. So
and I don't think Sean McVay does either.
I don't think he does either. I don't think he does
either.
But all right,
Steelers are having another 9-8 season. But carry on.
I will second that motion.
All right. Well, we're sticking to LA.
We're sticking to LA.
I'll get on y'all later for that. Let's see. I like what you said, Cody. Like I do think it would be smart to kind of revamp. But of course, what they did these last few seasons and with the picks that they've traded away, that could be tough. I don't know. I've heard and I've seen from like the beat writers and what I saw at Rams camp, as well as you've seen, the energy is actually really high out there with the Rams. Like I think you got a group of guys that are ready to prove themselves. You got some rookies. I really love the receiver Puka Nacua, man. That guy is a baller. Yeah. I'll tell you that. And you just have guys who want to win. I mean, I think they know that everybody in the media is counting them out. So I don't really know if I have projections off the top of my head. I mean, it's going to be a weird season just in general, I think, for the NFL. There's about 2 clear favorites, and then it's going to be like, who knows, especially with the injuries that are going around preseason. It's going to be a weird season. But in terms of covering training camp, I think I had a chance to do it last year as well. I believe you did too, Cody.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, like it's a weird time. They have a really cool facility, UCI, Go Eaters.
Yep. Go Eaters. Eaters Nation was trending on Twitter, actually, guys, and not for the right reasons.
I'll have to look into that. But no,
Go Eaters is crazy.
You said it. I didn't say anything.
Come on, those anteaters, man.
Yeah.
No, it's a really good time out there. The energy's good. The access that we get is really good because that whole staff with the Rams, I think we have a good relationship with them. And even if you don't have a good relationship with them, they just treat everybody well.
Yeah.
They're just good people over there.
Yeah.
Word to the wise, if you're trying to get into this business, the Rams are definitely a good team to kind of follow and
absolutely
and look into because good people. But I don't really know where I was going with this. I just think Rams camp was a good time, man. Like they have all these activities and different themed days for fans, which was probably the coolest part to cover because obviously you're just running some plays and doing practice. So it's not like it's all exciting football wise, but they turn it into a whole ordeal. And you have like Legends Day. You have, what was another themed day? What was it when you went, Cody?
Oh, you know what? I went the first day of camp. So that was just the first day of camp.
Yeah,
And
but I
the
know they have like stuff like Vamos Day, which is
yeah, there
super
was
fun.
I
The
wasn't there for that.
mariachi.
They had like a celebrating like the military, I believe. Like I
Yeah,
don't think there were days, like I don't think they were celebrating anything specifically like the 2 days I was there.
the first like 2 days of camp.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I think as a team, they do things right.
Yeah.
And even in like turmoil and in a year where who knows what's going to happen, yeah, they keep the energy high, and it was a super good time. So I definitely say if you're trying to get into the NFL and you're listening to this, and I can't even say I'm pretty unbiased. Like I'm not a hometown Rams fan per se,
Yeah.
but it's a super fun team to follow and be around. So Cody, I'll
Yeah.
let you kind of like attest to that and follow up. But yeah,
I
Rams
would
camp, good
I
time.
would say for the most part, like, yeah, for sure it was a good time. I would say it was actually like a chill time. Like to kind of just echo, like I think that's to me, like that's the best word to kind of like just describe it
Yeah,
because it was like just so chill because if you look at it from a camp perspective, like McVay cut the practices pretty much, I would say close to in half, or like he limited the days they were actually like practicing because last year there were more days that they were actually practicing. And he cut it down this year just because the team is like new. So I don't, that's kind of strange because you would think they would need more days just because there's like new guys and everything like that.
mhm.
But it was a good time, but it was also like kind of just like very relaxed. And I think that's how they are as an organization, kind of like things are just kind of like free flowing. Everything's kind of fluid. They're going to just roll with what they got and just kind of like go like do the best they with what they have and like just go with it. But from like covering the athletes and everything, like covering the players and everything like that. I mean, I don't know who was there your days, but you know, the first day I was there, it was Aaron Donald. We got to like Aaron Donald on the air. The second day I was there, I think Stetson Bennett was there, and like that was pretty fun and everything like that. To me, the whole concept of training camp is like crazy to me that the fact that people would like come and show out, like I'm talking like the stands are just straight up filled up just to watch players practice. To me, that's like a crazy concept. Like I don't know why. Like it's hot, you know, it's humid. Like I don't know why people want to go out there and watch them practice, but I understand from the perspective of the fan because like it's really the only chance you get to like meet the players, like really get their autographs or like kind of come up and talk to them just because they do approach the fans after practice. And I don't think you don't really get that type of access pretty much throughout the year, right? Unless you like catch them on the street or like if you're lucky enough to be sitting close to them as they're entering the locker room or like after the game.
Yeah,
Like I get it from that standpoint. Like this is pretty much your only access that you get to the players like all year long. I get it from that perspective, but to watch them like practice and everything, like there's cool plays here and there, but you know, like for the most part, it's practice, you know, like it's just like them like throwing the ball around, running routes, and like it's cool. Like don't get me wrong, like from a social media perspective, like it's cool, especially with the cameras we have now. Like it's cool to
true.
like get up close videos of like Cooper Cup running routes, you know,
Mhm.
Stafford throwing, you know, AD just like straight up like dominating dudes. Like it's cool from that perspective. Like the camera work we get to work with and like the access that we get in terms of like walking around the field and everything like that. That is always like cool. But it was like a super like chill time. Like it didn't really feel like we were covering. Like I feel like maybe last year was a little bit different just because they were Super Bowl champs. But this year it was like I feel like everything was like really lax about it. Like the media was lax, like team was lax, organization was lax, like everything was just kind of like we're just here for a good time.
Yeah, no, I mean that's a perfect way to put it. Like that was one thing I forgot to touch on is just having the people on our show for
Yeah.
ESPN LA. You see those sides of their personality that you never see in the NFL because
Yeah.
during games, and if you're looking to get into media when you're covering games, you don't really see the goofy side unless they're like always goofy, like a Jamal Williams type guy or something. But
Yeah.
you're gonna be seeing that intense, like Aaron Donald literally will scare the hell out of you when he's running out of the tunnel because he's sprinting and you try to get out of the way. But at Rams camp, you got guys like AD joking around, you know, like
Yeah.
signing autographs, Cooper Cup, Matt Stafford walking up and joking with fans. That's the type of stuff that I really appreciate. So, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Cody, because it's like you're not going to see that anywhere
Yeah. You don't get that.
except
Yeah.
for teams doing
Exactly.
training camp.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna step in this because
Yeah.
I'm never a believer of tanking. Never heard of it. There's no. What do you need a tank for? You go out there, you compete, man. You compete every single day, man. Let the field, let your play do the talking, man. Like there's no such thing as tanking. This hype. I'm tired of hearing every single day about, oh man, like let's get Caleb Williams. Let's get this guy, man. Let's get Caleb Williams. Hey, bro, can y'all just convince me what the hype is around this man? Can y'all really convince me?
Caleb
Please.
Williams?
Hold on,
Please.
for real? Are we about to have this
Here
conversation?
Please,
we
for
go
real.
again. This is like the D'Lo thing all over again.
It's
Except
a little-
imagine
different because-
D'Lo, but he's actually super good.
Yeah, like imagine he's actually a first team All NBA.
Yeah.
I mean, but I want to like break it down. 'Cause I don't watch enough of his games, and it seems to me like he's.
You got you got to go and see Caleb play. Then, if you haven't seen Caleb like play like in person or like watched any of his games, you can just watch him on TV. You don't even really need to go to the Coliseum.
I watched one game. He asked me lost to Utah.
Okay,
and he played
in the Pac-12 championship when he got injured.
Yeah, he played on literally one
like
leg.
half a leg. Yeah, like
hey,
like
bro.
yeah.
Hey, bro.
No, I kid you not. Like, I was just watching recently that Untold, the Johnny Manziel. I know you were telling me a little about it, DeAndre.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I made sure to go and watch it, and then it reminded me of like Johnny football days and how he won that Heisman as a freshman. And then I started to compare it, to Caleb's, and I go, you know what? This dude is nothing compared to Caleb, which is crazy because he had so much hype, Johnny football and all that. But you go and watch the two games, like in the two style of play side by side, and this guy Caleb is in another world, bro. You'll see this year. You'll see this year. I mean, the dude had 40 plus touchdowns and like 4,500 yards with like an 87 QBR. I can't remember exactly what they were, but
you like the
only 5 interceptions or something. It's insane.
He's so polished as a player,
and he's younger than us.
And he's like,
he might be your age, Cody. Like it's
yeah. He's I understand like I think comparing him to Patrick Mahomes is really unfair to him because Patrick, like you guys were talking earlier about like Parker said there was like pretty much like only 2 teams like in the NFL. Like I think to me this year it's like to me until like I see the team like another team like kind of like really step up. It's the Patrick Mahomes Invitational to me in the AFC. Like he's gonna be there, and then it's whoever else is like. I mean Burrow, right? With whatever his injuries happening, and like Josh Allen. Until I see it, I think it's the Patrick Mahomes Invitational in the AFC. But to get back to like Caleb, like the thing is, he's Patrick Mahomes like in the sense that his improvisation is crazy, and he's like deadly accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like Patrick Mahomes coming out of college was like still raw. Like they knew he had the arm talent and everything and the skills. They just had to polish him up, right? Caleb is in that sense, he has the arm talent and the skills, but he's already polished, if that makes sense. He can run, he's mobile. He can pretty much make any throw. And the best trait is the fact that he can't improvise. That's like the best thing about Patrick Mahomes, right? The fact that he can just kind of like go off script and go make those plays. And I understand where, from some perspectives, why like people may dislike that, the fact that he does like improvise and everything like that. But I think he's also, not to get too much into this, but I also think like having Lincoln Riley as a coach is also really helpful for him. But just imagine Patrick Mahomes going out of college with all the arm talent and the skills and everything, and the fact that he's mobile, except that he's polished now. Like he's kind of ready to be in the NFL.
See, the thing is that he made a Johnny Manziel comparison.
That's pretty crazy. I would not compare to Johnny Manziel, but I understand where you're coming from.
No. First off, we're not gonna act like Johnny Manziel did not play in the SEC. We're not. That's one thing we're not.
But he wasn't playing in the SEC.
Hold on.
I mean, it was the Alabama teams like that had won 14.
I mean,
bro,
I'm not gonna argue.
Anyone on Alabama turf, like
bro.
I mean, Johnny Manziel changed the game of football easily. That he like changed the game. Like he was a mobile. He started to become like that. Oh damn, like a mobile quarterback. But he goes off script and makes wild ass throws that somehow completes him. Like he started that trend. Okay.
I would say,
Now,
yeah, probably like the wild improvisational style of the game. I mean, we had some mobile quarterbacks like back in the day, Vince, and
I'm
who
not,
probably
I'm not, but I'm talking about just like he was a grinder, bro. Like he
yeah,
was like,
yeah.
like
These small
he
QBs, yeah.
made a lot of mistakes. But this one thing is that we're not. Like, he found some way. Like regardless, like his last season before he went. I'm not trying to get too far into this. He went 8-4, and like, but bro, like he was. There was the first year going into the SEC, and they were like, I mean, bro, they're winning games under a brand new head coach, and it was just crazy. But I don't
No,
know,
it's crazy
man.
what he did. But hey, that's funny you say brand new coach because I mean, USC and Lincoln, and they just immediately click.
But can you say the strength of schedule? Can you see that plays a part? Because they play teams like fucking San Jose State. I mean, come on, bro. They're playing teams
don't
like
you
fucking.
dare disrespect my Spartans.
I am. I'm sorry. They're not a great football team. When it comes,
Shout out.
like, when it comes to USC and then come on, bro, San Jose State, come on. I mean, and Colorado's not good at football. They're not good at football. They were terrible last year before Deion Sanders took the Deion Sanders takeover. Arizona is terrible at football. They're terrible. So rarely that's why you think everyone's leaving the Pac-12 because it's a terrible conference, bro. It's terrible. And I'm not just saying that the knock off his skill set. The first thing I never said he sucks or anything. I just want to know what the hype is. That's why I asked.
No,
I didn't say Caleb Williams sucks or anything. But I was saying like the strength of schedule in college football is a big deal because they play teams like Alabama, they play teams like the Georgia Bulldogs, they play teams like the Texas, they play teams like I'm telling you, like the real powerhouse schools. I mean, Oregon's good at football, and I don't know. I don't know how they played against. I don't know how he did against Oregon. I didn't watch that game. I can't tell you. I mean, I didn't watch enough college football this year, and I should. But I'm just big on. I want to see you do it against highly talented programs. I want to see you do it against. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Can I say something?
Go for it.
Bama, Georgia, LSU, Texas.
Whole nother level.
All a whole different level for sure. They play in the SEC, and I think the SEC is for sure the best conference in terms of like every day, everything's a grind. But Caleb Williams and Lincoln Riley, I would say pretty confidently would hang 40 on all those teams. Offensively. I don't think there's a team out there that could stop Lincoln Riley and Caleb Williams when they're on top of it. But I will say this, the only reason why they weren't in the college football playoff last year, and this will be the same question this year for USC, whether they can get stops defensively, whether they can get stops. And I can confidently say, this is pretty like, I would say it's pretty, I wouldn't say bold, but I could confidently say I think Caleb and Lincoln could hang 40 on Bama, on Georgia, Ohio State.
This man's out his damn mind.
LSU.
This man,
I'm pretty sure they could. To me, it's not a how much they can score. That's the question. It's how many stops they can get. Because I think they could hang 40 and lose like 50-40, like just because SC can't get stops. But I can confidently say that I think Lincoln and Caleb could put up 40 against like any of the SEC teams.
Hey, look, bro. Let me tell you something. That Georgia D line last year was something vicious. They're getting to him They're giving to him. I would say about 75% of snaps. So they're getting to that man. I'm telling you right now. That bad on the defense. Nick Saban makes adjustments.
No doubt in my mind. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with you.
40 points is 40
I'm
points
not
is
disagreeing
crazy.
with you. It would they would have to win a shootout. That's what I'm saying. They can get at Caleb all they want. I don't disagree with you. I think they would get to Caleb. The offensive line wasn't great this past year, and I don't know what it's like going to be this year. I haven't read too much about that. I'm pretty sure they could hang 40 on like any of them.
40 points is crazy on a powerhouse school like that.
But I don't think you realize like how good Lincoln Riley is as an offensive coach and how like Caleb is as a quarterback. Like
was he doing that in Oklahoma? Lincoln Riley?
The same thing.
They were hanging 40, yeah.
They rang it 40 with Baker Mayfield, and Caleb Williams is 10 times the player Baker Mayfield is.
Whoa. way. Baker Magic, baby, in college. Baker Magic. Come on now.
I don't disagree. I'm just saying, in college, Caleb is better than Baker was in college. And Baker almost cooked Georgia. And I'll give you, it wasn't the Georgia team, right? It wasn't the Kirby Smart after he had a few recruiting classes under him. I'll give you that. But he was hanging like almost 60 against Georgia and like bringing like,
I don't know, man.
like
40 is
Alabama.
crazy, though.
I forgot who they were playing.
They're
but
doing
he
it
was
against
bringing
Ohio
a lot
State.
of teams to the brink.
SC's doing it against Ohio State. They're doing that against Michigan.
We'll see next year. I mean, Caleb's not going to be there next year, but
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Malachi.
Ohio State and Michigan, I would say Caleb would hang 40 on them. That's just my opinion.
40
That's how
points.
confident I am in Caleb Williams and Lincoln Riley as players.
Hey,
As
so
a
you think
player
that?
coach.
Hey, ESPN
One
doesn't
last
call
thing.
him wide receiver university for nothing.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And
Red
yeah,
flag.
no, exactly, right? The wide receiver talent, like Jordan Addison was a first round pick, right? Jordan Addison was a beast and everything. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying Travis Dye was important to that. Travis Dye was important to that offense. Taj Washington was important to that offense. Like, Gary Bryant had a few plays here and there. Like, there are tons of players that like played a big part. But to me, the bread and butter will always be Caleb and Lincoln.
Like I said, let's not get this narrative twisted. Never said the man was a bum.
Yeah,
I never said Lincoln.
That's true. I'll give you that. You never said that. You never did say
said
that.
anything. Never said anything like that. But I'm just saying, like, I'm a big believer. Because look, man, my dog Bryce Young, I met him a couple of times, and he was a killer
Killer.
college,
Absolute killer.
college quarterback. But
Not
now,
better
man,
than Caleb,
like, you okay. Like I said, we're getting now in the league now. You're in the league. You're in the league. Hey man, it's always like welcome to the league, rookie. And I'm telling you right now, man, they ain't gonna take that man lightly. They're gonna see all that running around and shit that he's doing. You can't do that in the NFL, man, because you got to be able to make decisions like this on the fly, man. And we've seen it from a lot of rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Because he carried on a lot of like the time of the possession that they had. He carried on a lot. There were times he was really out of the pocket, man. And don't get me wrong, he made hell of a plays. He did. I've never taken away from him. But I'm saying that, like, I just want to know if that hype is going to carry with him to the NFL, and he's going to be able to hold on to that hype. Because a lot of quarterbacks, you know, they
100%.
there's not a lot. Like you said, we named great ones, P-Bell. You named Vince Young. I mean, we named you can name Jamarcus Russell. You can name, and they didn't make it in the league that long, bro.
Yeah.
But there's so much hype around them, and they were great college quarterbacks, and they did spectacular things, but didn't really transition over to the league.
Yeah.
Vince Young had a great stint for the Titans, and then dropped immediately. Jamarcus Russell didn't even make it in the league that long.
Yeah. Hey, well, I'll tell you what, we didn't even have college football on the show rundown today, and we just went for it. And I'll tell you what, Caleb's going to be playing for QB coach number 1, Sean McVay, so it doesn't matter anyways.
Exactly.
Right. So, Rams training camp, LAFC, all that was fun and games. Let's kind of talk about something that I felt was a little necessary because we haven't done it before.
Yeah.
Jobs and job searching.
Yep.
In the media field. All of us are currently, part-time and we just recently got out of school or we're still in school, etc. And we're in that moment in life, that transitional period where you want to find work. Now, the thing is, it's tough to find full-time work in this industry, in this field. I guess I'll just pass it along to DeAndre real quick. What's that been like so far? You don't have to dive too deep into it, but just the process, mentally or just like time wise, what's it been like searching for jobs nonstop?
You gotta be patient in this business, man. You're not gonna make money right away. I was told that from the very beginning. As soon as I got in with obviously since I met you guys, we were told that the moment we got in, you gotta love what you do. You don't do it for the love of money. You do it because you love. You have the passion for it. You want to build something. You want to change the whole social media platform. I would say it's a challenge every single day, man, because you're gonna get a lot of. I still get those, and I'm at a position right now where I have a great title under my name, but you're fighting every single day because there is someone that's better than you, and you got to face reality, man. There is someone that's probably one step ahead of me still, but it's a grind, man. But I just know that the opportunity will come because you can't let things come to you. Obviously you got to go out there, you got to search, you know what I mean? You got to fight for, you got to apply, put yourself in a great position. But I'm a big believer that it'll be a right time, a right place for you when an opportunity does come. So you can't get discouraged because it's really easy to, man, because you're gonna be sitting like, man, I'm not making this, I'm not doing this, I feel like I can do this, I'm better than that guy. You always can compare yourself. It's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it has been a struggle for me. But one thing I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna quit, never gonna give up. I'm gonna be patient because I know opportunity will present itself. So that's the only takeaway I got.
I like that. Never give up. DeAndre Hopkins. It reminds me, one of the first things I heard when I tried to get into this industry as an intern, I met Beto Duran, the great Beto Duran. And what I really appreciated about that interaction was that to each of us interns, he looked us dead in the eyes and said, don't get into this business. And it seemed like at first it was like, whoa, why are you telling me this? Like, that's not fair. That's not fair. I'm young. I'm you see me, I'm excited, and you're just killing my mood. After, of course, having more and more conversations with him, like, I learned why he says stuff like that. And I really appreciate it because I think, like you said, DeAndre, you got to have that never give up mentality. You almost have to be crazy. You have to be so optimistic that a lot of people, regular, sane people, will look at you and go, you're crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's such a grind. And DeAndre, you mentioned it. People are going to say that, like how Beto did. Of course, he says it in kind of a mentor, like a helping you grow kind of way, but a lot of people will do it as just haters. And yeah, you have to approach that with like, nah, I'm gonna make it, So we wanted to touch on this just because Cody and I, we were going in this recent position where we kind of have a similar we were going for like a similar position. So you'll run into like moments where you're going against friends and you still just have to have that mindset, like it'll work out, like it'll happen. You can't be discouraged. You're gonna get no's. And you got to kind of twist your mentality, like have fun with it, because you're going to have rough moments. But I mean, you got to think of it in different kinds of ways. That's how I've been able to cope.
Yep.
I don't know. What about you, Cody? Like, what's this been like? Because you're the only one of us three who still has, a few months left of school. So you're kind of getting ahead of the game, whereas DeAndre and I, started internships and stuff like after.
Yeah.
So what's it been like for you?
I definitely agree with what both you guys said in terms of like having the mentality of like, and I love what you said about like Parker, about what you said about like, you kind of have to have like a little screw like loosened somewhere where you kind of just like, I'm going to make it. Like, you just have to like truly believe that. Like you just have to believe that you're going to make it somehow, even if you don't know. Like, there's going to be days where you're just like, and I'm sure that both of you guys have both like said in that, because I've had those days where like you lay on that bed or you were sitting down and you're like, it's been a long day and you're just like, man, is it even like really worth it, like to be like going after this? Because like it's not a reassuring business for sure. I mean, you look at it from a job perspective. ESPN just had what they cut like $5.5 billion off their payroll, and we're talking about Mark Jackson, we're talking about Jeff Van Gundy, we're talking about Keyshawn Johnson. You're talking about big personalities at ESPN that just get laid off, right? And it's just the business. And obviously those people are a little bit different because obviously they've done very good for themselves and they've made a bunch of money. But this business is literally tough. It's not easy at all. There's not a day where you're not grinding. There's not a day. Like, it's the summertime. There's no basketball. There's no football. There's baseball, but it's kind of the dog days. There's no hockey. There's nothing going on. There's soccer, but we're not in an environment where soccer is the main sport, right? So I would say it's an off time. There is still so much to do, so much to get out there. And it's just a grind to constantly, literally, you're like, you wake up, grind, go to sleep, same thing all over again. And I think the thing is like, you just really have to keep that mindset of that it's going to work out. And for some people it doesn't, right? So for some people it's like they can't take it, and you just got to be, like both of you guys said it, like you just got to be patient with like the opportunities. And when you do get the opportunity, you just got to make the most of it. Like, if it didn't turn out the way if it didn't turn out the way you thought it would be, it's at least a learning, like, a learning moment. But for me, like you guys said, it's a little bit different just because I still have a lot left I still have a year left in school. And I guess I would say, like, for people that are around like my like vicinity at school, like I guess I am like a little bit ahead of them. But I think it's because I don't know, to me it's like, I don't know how you guys feel, but like to me it's like we've covered so many things at such a young age. We've seen LeBron, like possibly the greatest athlete, you could argue athlete of all time.
Yeah.
You've covered Rams, we've covered soccer, we've covered, like, you name it, we've covered it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it truly has hit me yet that we've done all that. But I think it's also because of the fact that, like, I see it from the perspective that there's like still so much to go. There's like still so much left to accomplish and do, that like it's kind of like, yeah, it's cool in the moment. And it sucks sometimes because you don't really get to put yourself in the perspective of being present because you're just thinking so far ahead. But I feel like sometimes you just need to have that perspective of like, you need to keep grinding because you're not there yet. Right. And I know the both of you guys definitely feel that, because like I can for sure say, the three of us, I could confidently say that we don't think we've like truly made it yet.
Damn
So
right.
I think it's that mentality that like, you haven't made it yet, so we're gonna keep going until. And sometimes you may not, and I'd love to talk to somebody like that has been well accomplished, whether they truly feel like they've made it or not, because sometimes like, that's the thing that like just keeps them going, like the fact that they don't think they've made it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a thing for some people that like is possible. Like I think all of us have that mindset where we're just keep grinding. And obviously I can say for the three of us, I would say successful for our age, right? We've made connections, we've made networks with people that, like that can help us in terms of advice, can help us like seek out opportunities. We're successful in that, right? But we haven't really made our own path yet. So I don't even know if that's like really an answer or not, but like it's kind of just to put things into perspective.
Yeah, no, I couldn't have said it better myself, man.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, yeah, we're rich in experiences, at our age. We're not rich in other things, but that's something that we could get to later.
Yeah.
But listen, I think we all made really good points. I love that we all share this, dream, this goal, and that's why we have this podcast. So when you're listening to this and you're wondering like, hey, is it worth it? All I can say to you is it is. Even if you just do something like this with your friends, with people who are like-minded, doing podcasts or doing social media together, following what it is you love, in our case, sports, it's worth it. So go for it, do your thing, be a little crazy, and keep telling yourself that you'll make it. And I think things will work out for you. But that will be all for today's BluePrint. Almost mixed up and said the other Blue podcast that I have. Shout out Blue Review. Tune in on ESPN Los Angeles YouTube. I've been Parker Bell with my boys K. Lou and D Hawk. We'll catch you next time.
Peace.